Okay, so
Hold on.
to kind of just reiterate really what Doug had alluded to as well is I really do appreciate the media. Some of you I've come to know, or we've come to know over the last 5.5 years, and you've really been very helpful to us and keeping the names out there, keeping this case alive. Very appreciative of that. And while this is another chapter in this whole story that in our lives that we're going through right now, I want to make sure that we continue that, right? The next chapter is now we're onto the prosecution side, right? And let's keep that open out there, keep that flowing, keep the information coming in. I want to make sure we get as much information to the investigators and specifically the prosecutor, specifically at this time moving forward. So with all your guys' help, we keep the information out there and keep the girl's name out there. And again, any information pertaining to anything with this case, obviously with the person arrested, but anything at all, please call that in. Please turn those tips in, because I want to make sure that that's how we support as a family, right? Is keep it out there, asking for help, and you guys carry that message back out there for us, and we are so appreciative of that. But let's stay on top of that and keep pushing forward, because we got another hill to climb, and we're going to get to the top of it. We certainly are.
Mike, how do you feel that the suspect could be a neighbor, could be somebody you've known?
Well, Doug Carter said that early on, if you recall. He said he's hiding in plain sight, and that's the case. Didn't know that. I don't know the gentleman personally at all, So I've probably seen him, but it's a small county, But definitely I don't know him.
What went through your heart, sir, when the last couple of weeks when you heard of a suspect and now an arrest, and you tell me it's been so long?
It's somewhat bittersweet, knowing that while it allows us to move to the next turn or the next chapter, we still got a big mountain ahead of us, and we're going to stay after it. We haven't ever given up, and you guys haven't given up on us, and we're going to keep pushing all the way.
There's a lot of information that can't be shared, obviously, at this time. So why is it important to continue with the integrity of the investigation?
I want to make sure that we have everything we possibly need and more. I don't want to leave any stone unturned.
Becky, how are you doing? Do you have anything that you want to add? Sorry, I'm telling you, but, hi. What went through your heart when you heard? They told you on Friday, correct? Is that right?
Well, we were called in on Wednesday and told that they had detained somebody, so we got a couple more days to process this. I don't feel like I thought I would. I've always said that I would be screaming on the rooftops. That we're not. It's sad. While there's somebody that's been arrested, there is, our lives for 5.5 years have been in a search mode, and that's what we've done tonight. You get up and it's like, oh, we're not doing that anymore. So we're all just kind of feeling our way and figuring out what our purpose is now. What do we do next? How do we help? That's what we want to know, is how do we help now to make sure we have the right person, to make sure there's a conviction, to come to a total final resolution.
Ma'am, are you all fearful that someone else was involved in this that is still at large?
That's certainly a possibility, and that's why we're keeping it open out there, right? That's why the investigators answered that question as well, is the tip line remains open. So any information pertaining to this case, that's certainly, I want to get that to the investigative team and let them vet that out.
You're fearful that that person or those people might have had a role in the actual crime itself?
I don't know any of that information, what you're asking.
Do you think there's anybody in this town that knew about this and kept their mouth shut?
I don't know. That would be speculation, really. What do you think?
It's a small town.
Sure is.
Sorry, people who know each other. Mr. Allen right now, what would you say?
Yeah, I'll save those words when I see him face to face.
Hey, Mike. Hey, sorry, we got here. Any guess how's it feel to know this guy, nationwide search, this guy's found down the street from where you guys have frequented and gone?
Well, it's not an area that I really frequent, but I mean, your point is yeah, it's definitely, that's why we said never stop searching anywhere, because we didn't know where he was. And like I said, Doug Carter had made mention of that, is he could be living right amongst us, hiding in plain sight. And that's what can.
Mike, do you have anything to say to Richard Allen?
No, I'll save that for when I see him face to face.
So what went through your heart and your mind when those charges were read?
It was a kind of bittersweet, you know, it's, I just know that there's another job, another hill for us to climb ahead of us, but we're up for the challenge. We're going to keep after it. We're not going to stop.
Why is it important to keep the tip line alive at this point?
Because I want every stone unturned, every bit of information that's out there pertaining to this case. I want the investigative team to have that information.
How confident are you the police have their man?
That's what the courts will decide, right? But I'm confident. I've always had confidence in the investigative team.
What keeps you hopeful?
Yes, I'm hopeful.
What keeps you hopeful?
The faith and the strength of our family, and the fact of I know how hard the investigative team has worked, and they're nonstop.
Who asked that?
Yep.
Who asked that?
Right back here.
Oh, I wanted to speak about your faith because I know it was important to you.
If it were your child, would you have an option not to be hopeful?
No, absolutely not.
That's why we're hopeful.
Of course.
You all, there's
Okay,
can I just ask you one question? Maybe you can put a rumor to rest or something. There's a report going around right now that this Mr. Allen actually processed some photos for the family at the CBS. Do you know if that's accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay, and that he didn't charge the family when they came in to claim the photos?
That is correct.
Okay, and you know that firsthand. We are always careful to be accurate.
All right, one more question.
Do you think the media coverage of this has been fair?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys in the media have been certainly more than fair. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've had our share of shots taken at us, and that's fine. And hopefully those people will now be able to reflect in the mirror and say, oh, you know, maybe that wasn't the case. So, you know, reservations and things like this is always the better case, right? It's the better judgment. We all know that, and that's just how we are, right? I don't cast judgment on something until I know for sure. And
Thank you, folks.
thank you.
Okay.
Sir, is it important to know that
Ma'am, thank you so much. I know this is an easy vacation. Mike,
Wait a minute. I'm really sorry. No, I really do. I'm sorry.
That's my tripod.
What's that?